Today, I am going to talk about the NFL and math and the stealthy way you can use the NFL football, American football, to help your child with math, whether it's basic arithmetic or higher level math in terms of statistics and things like that. Now, if you had the opportunity to read the 10 ways to overcome math anxiety on the Teshley Solutions blog post, you'll recall that in it was mentioned using sports, any sports, but particularly the NFL. If you've not had the opportunity to read that blog post, I will link to it in the description below, and you can do that at your leisure. Now, the reason why I decided to do this video specifically on the NFL, because I have to confess, I am not a football fan. I don't like football. I don't understand football, but family and friends, I am surrounded by football fanatics, so I kind of pick up things by osmosis. I may get a little bit of the terminology wrong here, so please forgive me and don't beat me up. I'm going to do the best that I can. But the reason why I decided to do this at this time is because this particular season has been a bit anomalous in that every year there are always high-ranked teams who lose to lower-ranked teams. But this year, apparently, there have been a number of games where the winning team failed to score a single touchdown. And then just last evening, Joe Burrow, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, accomplished something that had only been done one other time in the history of the NFL. And give me a moment. I'm going to check my notes because, again, I am not a football expert at all, so I don't recall this off the top of my head. Okay, so in last night's game, Mr. Burrow had 30 completions, threw for over 300 yards, threw for 4 touchdowns, had multiple 40-yard passes, and only threw 1 interception. And yet he managed to lose the game. He lost to the Baltimore Ravens. In the 103-year history, those numbers have only been thrown up one time with that result. Interestingly enough, as I said, this year has been an anomalous year. If you're a huge football fan, you probably know what I'm about to say, but if you're not, then you may not. In the 103-year history that had happened one other time, it was just 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's the same season, and it's the same quarterback. It was Joe Burrow who did it the first time, and it just so happened he was playing against the same team, the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, Mr. Burrow kind of dubiously made history there. Not once, but twice. Now, in terms of statistics, what are the odds of probability that that would ever happen twice in a season, let alone to the same quarterback on the same team? 103 years. So that's the kind of higher level math that you can use to figure some things out. But for basic arithmetic, the reason why, even though I'm not a football fan, the reason why I think American football, the NFL, lends itself so well. Oh, actually, you could use college football as well if you wanted to do that. I know even less about college football than I do about the NFL. But because there's so many multiple ways of scoring, there, you have the 2-point conversion and the safety that comes to 2 points. You have the field goal for 3 points, and then you have the touchdown for 6, and if all goes well, the extra point. So there's all sorts of ways rather than, a one-on-one score. Basketball does have the 3-point shot, but football just has so many ways that you can score. And so you don't even have to watch a game. If you don't like football, you don't have to subject yourself to it. But what you can do is look at the scores. You can pull up last week's scores from a year ago, from whatever. Just look at the final scores and then just ask your child to figure out how the teams arrived at those particular scores, because you could have a score of 9 that could have been a touchdown, the extra point, and then a safety. Or it could have been 3 field goals. So there's lots of different ways to get to the numbers that you can see. And it's a little bit more fun and engaging than sitting at a computer doing drill after drill, or sitting down with a paper and pencil or pen or whatever it is and just doing worksheets consistently. If your child is struggling with math, they may have what's the word I'm trying to think of? They may have an adverse reaction and kind of recoil when you want to put them in front of a computer screen to do it, or bring them worksheets to do. So doing it this way is, they're doing math, but it's not head on. Like I said, sometimes you have to kind of slip through the back door and try it that way. Now, in addition to that, you can also look at where teams are currently. I think that we're in week 10 of the NFL right now, which is a little bit more than halfway through the season. I'm going to drop a link in the description to a video that was put out today by a gentleman called Tom Grossi. If you're a huge football fan and you're on YouTube a lot, you probably know who he is. If you're not, then you may not have heard of him, but I'll put it in the description. And he ranked not the top teams, but the bottom teams, how he arrived at his placements based on their current stats. And he's kind of an effervescent guy, so it's a lot of fun to watch that. I actually watched that video because I thought it might be good to use for this, and I was right. So I'm going to link to that, and then I'm also going to link to a website that has some stats that you can pour through to see what you can and cannot use in your exercise. So again, we're talking from basic arithmetic to higher level math in middle school and high school that the NFL, American football, can be used for. As I said, you want to do college, if that's your thing, it doesn't matter. It's just that the sport itself is really good for working out different situations. If you don't want to use the NFL, you can certainly use any other sport that you like. Hockey, baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. I just picked the NFL, again, because of the many ways that you can score. So short, sweet, that's it. Again, there will be a link in the description to the 10 ways to overcome math anxiety. You'll see some other suggestions in there for things that you can do that are different, again, that aren't sitting at a computer screen or working with paper and pencil. The one thing you don't want to do is increase the math anxiety. You want to lower that. So you use any tool at your disposal. Every child is different, and so what works with one won't work with another. But if you try this out and it works for you, please drop a comment below and let me know. And even if it didn't, let me know that it didn't work out. I want to hear from you, want to hear what your experiences are. Some will be positive, some won't, but it's worth a try. So just give it a try and let me know how it goes, and go out and enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, education is a journey. Let's take it together.